Back at Fort Morgan High School with Bob Richardson. This is Brian Nickel, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs are getting ready to take on the Skyview Wolverines. The starting lineups tonight for the Wolverines: Corey Wilson, a junior; senior Marcus Arnold; senior Isaac Martinez; junior Andrew Ortiz; and junior Bonifacio Awalaje. And for Fort Morgan is Leo Lopez, Tony Swetzik, Joey Schneider, Anderson, and Eric Kimball. So this is game 23, the final game of the season for both of these teams. Hopefully to go on next week on Wednesday to start the state tournament. So Anderson to get the tip. The opening tip is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or needs.
Well, this is the team that the Mustangs got going with for their run for the playoffs, and it's kind of unique that they're going to finish up the season to beat them to get into the playoffs. So they beat them when they played them the first time around, 54-45. So hopefully they can come back and do the same thing.
So the first shot up, taken by Skyview, is no good. Rebounded or knocked out of bounds by Skyview. Ball to Fort Morgan. Leo Lopez up court, gets it to Tony Swetzik. Now back to Leo Lopez. Back to Tony Swetzik on the left wing. Cross court to Kimball. Now underneath to Joey Schneider. Then back out to Kimball. Into Anderson. His pass underneath is stolen away, taken by number 22, Ortiz. Now over to Wilson, down in the left corner, guarded by Joey Schneider. Now over to the right corner to Arnold. And now Wilson up for a little layup, and that's going to be up and good for Wilson. So Skyview with the early 2-0 lead. Fort Morgan now, and they're into their court. Joey Schneider now in the left corner. Into Anderson, now back out to Kimball. Back into Anderson. To Leo Lopez. Now to Joey Schneider from the corner, and that is good for a 3 for Joey Schneider.
Beautiful shot for Joey.
So Fort Morgan now with the lead. Skyview with the ball. Underneath to Awalaje, and that little hook is up and good.
He is their second leading scorer, and they got to keep him under control tonight.
So Fort Morgan now back in their end of the court. Leo Lopez out high, now over to Kimball on the left wing. Now over to Tony Swetzik just inside the 3. His two-pointer up and no good. Rebounded to Skyview. And that is going to be stolen by Eric Kimball. Now over to Tony Swetzik. Now cross court to Leo Lopez. Lopez into the corner, right corner to Joey Schneider. Then to Anderson in the corner. Anderson drives the lane. Nice layup, but misses the shot. Rebounded to Awalaje. Now down court to Martinez. Over on the right wing now to the left corner, right corner to Arnold. He dribbles it back out to Ortiz. Ortiz over to Wilson. Now cross court over to Arnold. That shot is up and no good. Rebounded to Anderson. There's going to be a foul on the play, and that is going to go against number 1, Wilson of Skyview. Team foul 1, first foul of the game. So now Leo Lopez brings the ball up past half court to Eric Kimball. Kimball back to Lopez. Over to Tony Swetzik, right wing, back to Leo Lopez. Now Tony Swetzik for a 3, a beautiful 3 by Tony Swetzik. That was a deep 3. So 6-4 in favor of Fort Morgan. It was 4:41 to go in the first period. So Skyview now in their end of the court. Martinez drives it in. Little jumper from the left baseline is good for Martinez. So we're all tied up here, 6-6. Now Eric Kimball with a 3 from the left side, and that is no good. Rebounded by Awalaje, but he comes down with his foot out of bounds. So Fort Morgan will take control of the ball just to the right of their basket. Tony Swetzig to get it into Kimball into the right corner. And that's a nice three there by Eric Kimball. So far, all threes for the Mustangs, 9-6 in favor of the Mustangs with 4:11 to go in the first period. So Wilson now out high. He brings it down the lane, goes against Schneider, and his shot is up and no good. Rebounded to Eric Kimball. Now he gets it out to Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez down court, now over to Tony Swetzig. Swetzig back to Lopez on the left wing. Now Kimball out high on the right. Back to Lopez left to Swetzig. Swetzig cross court pass to Eric Kimball. Now underneath to Anderson. Anderson needs to go up for that left-handed shot.
Yeah, he does.
Another three by Kimball, and that is no good. Rebounded to Skyview. And that's taken by Wilson. Now over to Arnold. He takes it baseline. He gets it into a Wallager, and that is going to count, plus a foul. And that's going to go on Wes Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson could back him down once he gets that ball down that low. He can just back him back and just lay it up in there.
So 4 points for a Wallager. Joey Schneider, Wes Anderson come out. Zach Garcia and Jake Frick come into the game for the Mustangs. So Wallager can tie it up here with a free throw. 9-8 in favor of Fort Morgan. That's going to be off the front of the rim. Rebounded to Zach Garcia. Now Eric Kimball with the ball gets it up to Leo Lopez, crossed half court. 3:20 to go in the first period. Over to Zach Garcia. Back to Leo Lopez. Over to Swetzig on the left wing. Now back to Leo Lopez. Over to Zach Garcia. Back to Lopez. Back to Garcia. To Kimball in the corner. His three is up in.
They're calling that a 2 point.
Call that a 2 for Kimball. So now 11-8 in favor of Fort Morgan with 2:55 to go in the first period. Wilson sets it up for a three from the top, and it's off the back of the rim and no good. Tony Swetzig with the rebound, hustles it up court to Zach Garcia. Zach Garcia has it stripped out of his hands. Clean strip there by Wilson. So now Morgan to inbounds the ball to the right of their basket. Into the corner to Garcia. Now back out to Leo Lopez. Over to Tony Swetzig from the right corner. His three is up and no good. Rebounded to Skyview with Ortiz hustling down court. Now over to Wilson. Back to Ortiz. Over in the corner to Martinez. His shot up and no good. And then Wallager with the rebound, but he throws the ball away. Leo Lopez in with a layup, but it is stripped from him by Wilson and out of bounds. So it will belong to the Mustangs. 11-8 in favor of the Mustangs with 2:17 to go in the first period. Tony Swetzig just out of bounds to the right of their basket. Gets it into Leo Lopez. Lopez back to Kimball. Kimball out to Swetzig. Swetzig to Lopez. Back to Swetzig. Over to Zach Garcia. Zach Garcia drives it and then passes it back out to Frick. Frick passes it back to Garcia. His shot is up and no good. They're going to call a foul on Eric Kimball. Trying to get to the ball. Kind of knocked one of the guys down. It's kind of shaky there for a minute. I thought maybe they were going to let that go. The closest ref
kind
was
of tapping that ball
go,
around, but I don't think anybody really had control.
So Fort Morgan on the defense now. Wallager out high to Ortiz. Ortiz now over to Wilson. Wilson on the right corner. He's cross-court pass to Bruce, who has come in for the Wolverines. Now a three up by the Wolverines is no good. Rebounded to the shortest guy on the court, and that would be Leo Lopez. Zach Garcia with a three from the left corner. Should be 14-8 in favor of Fort Morgan with 1:24.
Taking a 30-second timeout
to go in the first period. Anyway, like you were saying earlier, I got two sets of numbers for you. The first one is 1 and 4. The next one is 4 and 2. 1 and 4 is what Fort Morgan was when to start out the season. Their one lone victory, that was for the in the league. Their first victory of the year was for the league was against Englewood, and then they lost 4 straight. And then when they played Skyview, counting Skyview, they're 4-2 in the second half of the season. So I don't know what got into them or what sparked them, but ever since that Skyview game, they've been a whole different team and playing real good basketball.
Coach must have had a good talking with him because they've been looking pretty sharp since then.
So now Fort Morgan, T.J. Bauer in. They're going to do a little press here over to Bruce. They haven't got it across half court. He loses the ball to Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez gets it to T.J. Bauer. Bauer for a 3, and that's good. Fort Morgan lighting it up from three-point land tonight. 17-8, a 9-point lead, just like that.
That's the 5th 3 on here. 5th 3 for tonight.
With a minute to go in the first period. So now Wilson back out to Bruce underneath to Wallager. Wallager is going to be fouled by Frick. So 3 team fouls on Fort Morgan. 1 on Frick, 1 on Anderson, 1 on Kimball. So far just 1 on Skyview, and that is Wilson. So the first time Wallager went to the line,
he was a little short on the first. He was
short on. He made the basket and then made 1, but he's going to go up for 2 here. Now that was too hard off the back of the rim.
Well, he went to the back this time, front on the first. Maybe he'll make this one.
So 52.3 seconds to go in the first period. Wallager to shoot it, and he does get the second one. So 17-9 in favor of Fort Morgan with 50 seconds to go in the first period. Leo Lopez brings the ball up court. Dribbles, gives it off to Tony Swetzik on the left wing. Now back to Leo, back to T.J. Bauer. To Leo. They're going to back it out maybe. It looks like they're going to
hold it for the last shot here, hopefully.
Hold it out here. One less possession for Skyview. So Leo just out at the center court jump circle, keeping the dribble alive, waiting for Coach Unrein to give him the signal to go. Now with 13 seconds to go, Leo Lopez getting a little more pressure out there now by Wilson. Wilson now over to Leo with 5 seconds. Leo Lopez gets it to T.J. Bauer in the corner, up and in and out. Oh, it was there and came out. So at the end of the first period, Fort Morgan 17, Skyview 9. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School at the start of the second period, Fort Morgan 17, Skyview 9. Leo Lopez brings it past half court over to Eric Kimball out on the right wing. Now back to Lopez, over to Zach Garcia, left wing. Back to Lopez, center. He's going to shoot the 3 off the back of the rim and no good, and that's going to be rebounded to Skyview by Wilson. Now Wilson takes it, throws it back out to Guevara. Guevara back with it over to Wilson. Now Wilson to Martinez. Martinez over to Bruce. And back out to Guevara. A lot of passing here. It's Martinez now over into the corner to Bruce.
Looks like they're trying to go around the horn so they can get up an open shot down low to Wallager.
Wes Anderson do a nice job underneath on Wallager. Now Wallager goes out way high. They're not going to worry about him out there. So now Wilson way over on the right wing, guarded by Leo. Can't get the ball in there. They called the travel. Nice pressure defense there by Leo Lopez. So turnover by Skyview.
Got him trapped down that corner. He couldn't get out.
So 6:51 to go in the second period. Fort Morgan 17, Skyview 9. Kimball over to Lopez, back to Kimball. Left corner, left. Now Anderson dribbles in a little bit and then tries to pass it underneath, and that is stolen. So now Wilson down court, and his shot is up and no good. Rebounded to Joey Schneider. Leo Lopez now backs the ball out about 20 feet or so. Getting some pressure there by Ortiz. Now over to Kimball. Back to Leo, over to Zach Garcia, to Joey Schneider. Now bounce pass back out to Lopez, over to Kimball. Kimball, it's going to be Fort Morgan ball. Skyview tried to save it, but the player's foot was on the line. So Eric Kimball, 2 inbounds from the right corner. Now gets it to Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson to Leo Lopez. Over to Zach Garcia, left wing. Back to Lopez. In underneath to Anderson, but it was knocked out by Skyview. Anderson is reluctant to shoot that little hook tonight, and he had 9 points Tuesday night. I wish he would. I don't know if he's afraid to. He's going to get his shot blocked or not. But nice little 2 from the left corner by Joey Schneider.
Yeah, on Tuesday night he just was letting it go, and it was working for him. I don't know if if something's bothering him or if he's just waiting to find his rhythm.
So now 19-9 in favor of Fort Morgan. Skyview backs it out to center court. It'd be Corey Wilson drives it over, and then he passes it out to the left corner, and that 3 is up and in by number 13, Martinez. So 19-12 now. Zach Garcia with a 3, and he drains it.
Beautiful shot for Garcia.
6 points on the night for Garcia, both 3s, 22-12.
Anderson does wear a brace on his shoulder. Maybe during practice this week since Tuesday, maybe he bumped it or something. He's a little sore, and he's just not. It's kind of maybe stiff, and he's just not letting it go.
So now Wilson with the ball goes down the left sideline, and his shot is going to be up and no good. They are now pass down court to Garcia. They don't call a foul down there, but it was off of Skyview. So Tony Svetic to come back in, Joey Schneider to come out. He looked like he winced a little bit after he went down on that last shot, but he seems to be walking okay now back to the sideline. So now Tony Svetic to the left of their basket. Garcia missed a little gimme from the right side on the inbounds pass. Skyview now with the ball. Over to Guevara, now back over to Martinez, back over to Wilson, now back to Martinez, over to Wilson on the left wing. Now back out to Ortiz, now over to Guevara out on the right wing. Now down into the corner, back out to the top and down into a Wallager. And there's, looked like a nice clean block. We'll see if that's one on Kimball or looks like it's going to go on Anderson. That'll be 2 on Anderson. So a Wallager to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, it looked like a good block. And the only thing I could see him calling it on maybe a little bit of body, but there wasn't much contact to interfere with that shot.
So Wallager, his first shot is up and off the front of the rim. We're back at that again. So the next one, if it goes like it should, will be off the back of the rim. Now Jake Frick in for Wes Anderson. But they've neutralized the Wallager. He is a 6'5" junior, so he's and it was off the back of the rim, so he's keeping true to his word here. Now pass down to Leo Lopez down in the left corner, back out to Swetzik. Zach Garcia out high. Now Tony Swetzik to bring it back out. Back out to Leo Lopez. Now Jake Frick from the corner, back out to Lopez. Now Lopez has got to get, there we go, get it over to Zach Garcia. Garcia, nice screen by Kimball. Kimball now is going to launch a two from the right wing. So now 24-12, a 12-point lead for the Mustangs with 3:31 to go in the second period.
The Wolverines' leading scorer is Ortiz, and he's scoreless so far into the 3 minutes left in the second period, so they're keeping him under control.
So now Martinez with a three-pointer shot, and that is no good. So Skyview has gone cold. Now Fort Morgan down in their end of the court to Leo Lopez with 3 minutes to go. Now a three by Kimball. Now it's off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded by Ortiz. He's bringing it up court, gets it over into the corner to Martinez. Now over out to Guevara. Into the right corner to Wilson. Back out to Guevara. They're going to call a travel on Guevara. So Fort Morgan needs to take care of take advantage of getting some points here on these turnovers. So far, the turnovers, only 4 so far for Skyview. But Fort Morgan needs to take advantage of these extra possessions that they're getting. So ball knocked out of bounds. Belongs to the Mustangs with 2:43 to go in the second period. Fort Morgan 24, Skyview 12. Now the ball is going to be knocked out of bounds again by Skyview. I think Coach Unrein is going to call a 30-second timeout. So we'll keep it here. This Fort Morgan timeout is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen and Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today at 842-4555.
Well, you said that Skyview's gone cold. Wonder how much snow they got, because I know we got a few inches. So maybe it's affected them out here. Maybe they didn't get as much snow as we did.
It's affected their shot here. And during warm-up, they looked like they were hitting some pretty good threes. They would look like I was a little worried there the way they were hitting the threes in warm-up. But maybe you can hit those when somebody's not in your face. So.
Yeah, their leading attempt is Ortiz for three-pointers.
So now Fort Morgan with the ball underneath. Jake Frick tries to go up with it and it comes up short. Now rebounded to the Wolverines. Wilson brings it down court. Sets it up out high. Gets a screen from Guevara. Now over to Ortiz. Back out to Martinez, the left high wing. Now cross-court pass over to Guevara. Back out to Wilson. Wilson out close to the half-court line. Now into the corner to Ortiz. Now a little shot up and good. I believe that was by Guevara. So 24-14 with 1:50 to go. Now Fort Morgan with the ball in their end of the court. Gets it back out to Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez being guarded quite closely by Wilson. Now Leo Lopez gets the ball back from Swetzig. Have 1:28 to go in the second period. Now over to Zach Garcia. Zach Garcia to Kimball out high. Kimball to Jake Frick on the left wing. He drives it in, and his shot is blocked by Awalaje. So 1:10 to go in the second period. See if Fort Morgan, they're going to call a double foul, I believe. They're going to call a double foul
on Awalaje
and Kimball or Frick? Frick, I believe.
To Frick.
So that should be a possession arrow. Apparently possession now to Skyview. They've had kind of a wrestling match going on. Speaking of wrestling, that's going on this weekend up in Denver, but they tried to get a takedown here in the second period. 24-14 with 1 minute to go in the first half. Wilson drives into the lane, kicks it back out to Ortiz. Ortiz into the lane. His shot up and no good. Nice rebound by Joey Snyder. Now to Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez gets Zach Garcia into Kimball. Kimball's up shot is up and good. Just a little gimme there. He got a nice bounce pass underneath, and he put it up 26-14. Fort Morgan with 30 seconds to go in the first half. Now Skyview. Arnold puts a shot up, and that's good for three. That's his first points of the night. So 26-17 with 18 seconds to go. Now we're down to 13. Leo Lopez, nice little spin move, goes down the lane, gets it out to Joey Schneider. Now out to Garcia, to Leo Lopez. Lopez launches a three, and that is good for Lopez. With no time left on the clock.
That was his first points for the night. It was a big three for them.
Big three from the top of the key. Fort Morgan 29, Skyview 17. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, getting ready to start the second half of play here with Fort Morgan leading 29-17. As far as the 4A, 3A Colorado 7 basketball standings go, it's Elizabeth at 10-1, Fort Lupton at 8-4, and they will drop down to the 3A bracket in the playoffs. And then Skyview at 6-5, Weld Central, Fort Morgan, Vista Peak all at 5-6, and Englewood at 0-11. So Skyview with the ball to start the second half, and that is Wilson out on the left corner now. He gets it up to Ortiz. Ortiz shoots a three, and that's no good. Rebounded by Leo Lopez, but knocked out by Wilson. So now Fort Morgan with the ball inbounds. Lopez gets it up court to Kimball, back over to Leo, now over to Wes Anderson out on the right wing. Over to Leo Lopez out on the left wing. Now into Anderson. Nice little left-handed hook, up and no good. They're going to call a foul on three. He had grabbed Joey Schneider's shirt.
He almost de-shirted him right there.
So that is the first foul on Arnold, and first in the second half. Ball into Anderson, and he was going to go for the shot, and I think he thought he was going to get it blocked back in his face. He ended up coming back down with it and being called for a travel. He needs to employ that left-handed hook that he does so well, and try to keep that away from Awalaje. So now Fort Morgan with kind of a three-quarter court press. Now Wilson gets the ball up past half court over into the corner. Now they're going to try and get into Awalaje, but they don't get it in there. Ortiz now over into the corner to now out front to Ortiz. Nice defense here by the Mustangs. Martinez now over to Alcala, and back out front to Wilson. He's being guarded by Leo Lopez. Wilson gets it down into the court lane and then kicks it back out. Now Wilson in the corner for a three, and that's off the rim and no good. Rebounded, but it's going to be saved, but it's going to be to Fort Morgan. Thrown back in by Skyview, but to Fort Morgan. Now to Kimball. Kimball down the lane, and he's going to go up for the shot. They don't call any foul, either offensive or defensively. So I guess they're going to let him play tonight. So still 29-17 with 6:19 to go. We're going to call an offensive foul on Awalaje. Run right over the top of Wes Anderson. So nice defense there by Anderson to hold his ground and let Awalaje take him to the ground.
Yeah, he was scratching his head there and didn't know why he didn't get the offensive foul down here, but he got it down there. It's against him, So
now Leo back out to Tony Swetzik. Swetzik for a three, and that is in and part way out. Or all the way out, actually. Part way in and comes out. So 29-17 still, with 5:57 to go in the third period. Wilson being guarded by Leo Lopez. Takes it down the left side of the lane. Gets it into Awalaje, and he's going to kick it back out. Nice double defense there by the Mustangs. Now Wilson back out to Ortiz. Ortiz backs it out about 25 feet away from the basket. Now they're going to set up their offense. Tony Swetzik guarding Ortiz. Ortiz now down the lane. His runner up and no good, but rebounded to Awalaje. He gets the rebound and puts it up and in, and he is going to be fouled. That is going to go against Leo Lopez is who they put it on.
Smallest guy out there. Fouling the biggest guy.
So Awalaje with his free throw is up and in. So the first points scored in the second half go to Skyview, 29-20. Tony Swetzik now back to Leo Lopez on the right wing. He is being guarded out there closely by Wilson. Now Anderson out on the right wing. He gets it out to Joey Schneider. Schneider hits a three from the left wing, excuse me.
Yeah, Anderson drove down in the lane, and everybody collapsed down, and he just kicked it back out to Schneider in a beautiful three.
So now into the corner. No, nice poke away. They're going to call a walk.
He went up with it, came back down. I think he wanted to do the same thing that the Mustangs want to do earlier and just came back down with it.
So Wes Anderson with a nice defensive play there. Zach Garcia in for Anderson. So 32-20 in favor of Fort Morgan with 4:42 to go in the third period. Leo Lopez being guarded by Wilson. Now to Zach Garcia. Yeah, they're finally going to call that foul, and that is going to go against Wilson. That'll be 2 on him.
And he's been pestering them all night, and they finally called it.
So Fort Morgan inbounds just to the right of the bench.
Looks like Wilson went to the bench, and Bruce came out.
Bryce Bruce, a senior guard, into the game. Now Kimball with the ball on the right wing. Picks up his dribble, gets it to Snyder in the right corner. Back out to Tony Swetzik, over to Zach Garcia, to Leo Lopez on the left wing. Now to back out to Tony Swetzik. Swetzik backs it out a little bit. He is going to launch a long three, and that is good for Swetzik.
That was almost a half-court three there.
He was about 24 feet out there when he launched that one, 35-20. Skyview now with a 30-second timeout. So B&B Appliance at 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better with B&B Appliance. Platte Valley Hearing Center. You don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Visit Platte Valley Hearing Center, located at 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. Ackley Building Center, your one-stop center for projects around your home, office, or yard, and they now carry appliances. Ackley Building Center, located at 1402 Mill Street in Brush. Valley View Villa, look to the team at Valley View for rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. Stop by 815 Fremont or call them today, 867-8261. Now Fort Morgan to pick up the defense at half court. And that is Bruce with the ball, being guarded closely by Swetzik. They're going to try some pressure, some trap defense here by the Mustangs. Now they're going to back out of that a little bit, and Ortiz passes it over to Bruce, back to Ortiz. Ortiz now over to Martinez. To Alcala out high. So far it's just perimeter passing here by Skyview with 3:38 to go in the third period. Ortiz being guarded by Zach Garcia. Ortiz finally into the lane, and his shot is up and no good. Tipped out of bounds. Nice job there by Joey Snyder, but tipped out of bounds by Awalaje.
It looked like he could have got called for over the back
very,
there.
Very easily. So Leo Lopez to Swetzik out high on the right wing. Now they're going to get it to Kimball. Kimball over to Garcia. Out to Garcia. Snyder into Kimball. Kimball with a little turnaround, up and no good. Going to be rebounded by Alcala. Now it's taken by Ortiz. Ortiz to Bruce. Bruce now gives it off to Martinez. Then they're going to try and get it underneath to Awalaje, and that is thrown away and taken by Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez tries to get it underneath, but that is going to be knocked out of bounds by Skyview.
That was wise of Garcia to lift his hands up and let the ball go on out.
I was hoping the ref was going to notice that was tipped. Sometimes you do that, and they don't notice that. So now we have Arnold back in and Guevara in for Skyview. Now Tony out on the right wing. Gets it underneath to Joey Schneider. Back to Tony Swetzik. And that is a 2 from the left wing for Swetzik. So 5 points here in the second half for Tony Swetzik. 37-20. Nice 17-point lead here for Fort Morgan.
Swetzik's finding his groove. He's got 11 for the night.
So now Skyview, Ortiz goes down the left lane, but he is stripped, I believe, by Kimball. Now Swetzik tries to get down, and his little layup is good. Little underhand layup by Swetzik is good. So 39-20. Now Fort Morgan with the backcourt defense. Now if they don't reach, Skyview got the ball down court, and they get it into Alcala. It was partially blocked by Schneider, but it was good for Awalaje. So that's 10 points on the night for Awalaje. Shot up and no good. They're going to call a foul probably on Zach Garcia over the back.
Yeah, Swetzik was wide open. He took that three, and it was just a little bit over.
Coach Unrein setting Swetzik for just a minute and bringing TJ Bauer in. So 39-22 with a minute 39 to go in the third period. Fort Morgan in the lead. 3 team fouls on Skyview and only 2 so far on the Mustangs. Skyview gets the ball off court to Bruce. Bruce now out to Ortiz. Ortiz over to Guevara. Now back over to Bruce. Joey Schneider doing a good job under. Oh, they're going to call a foul on Joey Schneider.
He was doing pretty good because they were just down there just rubbing elbows in each other's gut there a little bit.
So that'll be the first on Joey. Doing a nice job there. Frick to come in for Schneider with a minute 12 to go in the third period. Fort Morgan leading 39-22. Skyview gets the ball inbounds to Ortiz. Ortiz is still scoreless on the night. Holding the ball out high. Garcia guarding him. Now he tries to take it down the left sideline. He backs it out and gives it to Bruce. And they're going to call Leo Lopez for the foul. Now all of a sudden they're calling everything that is close. So hopefully they'll do that on this end too. So now 4 team fouls on Fort Morgan. 55.2 seconds to go. One thing about it, Skyview is running a lot of time off the clock without taking any shots.
They're looking for that opportunity down low. And
now they got a 3 was taken by number 3 Arnold. That was no good. Rebounded to Fort Morgan. Leo Lopez across the half-court line. Now to Garcia. Underneath to Kimball. Kimball's little turnaround jumper's up and no good. Rebounded to Guevara. Now Ortiz gets the ball up court underneath, but it's knocked away by Frick. Nice layup here. It's going to be in for TJ Bauer.
Good
from the left side.
Good fast break.
41-22 with 16 seconds to go. Now Ortiz backs it out. They're going to get it over to number 3 Arnold. He's holding out. Now Ortiz out high with 7 seconds to go. Now 6 seconds. Ortiz finally drills a 3. With 2 seconds to go, Morgan's going to hold it.
Yeah, they got to keep an eye on Ortiz. He starts lighting up the threes.
He did that in the second half up at Skyview. So right now, Fort Morgan 41-25 for Skyview at the end of the third period. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. 41-25 in favor of the Fort Morgan Mustangs here at Fort Morgan High School with Bob Richardson. This is Brian Nickel. Start of the fourth period. Fort Morgan with the ball. TJ Bauer into the game. Now down to Tony Swetzik on the right wing. Tony Swetzik backs it up, gets it to TJ Bauer out high. Now over to Zach Garcia. Garcia over to Lopez out high on the left wing. Now to Jake Frick high. Now to Garcia. Garcia to Tony Swetzik. Swetzik shoots a 3 and comes out. They're going to call that off of Skyview. Nice job there by Jake Frick under the basket.
The good thing about this going into the fourth, there's nobody in foul troubles. Lopez, Frick, and Anderson all have 2.
So now the ball into Garcia. His shot is up and good, and he is fouled on the shot. Nice shot there by Garcia. And we'll give you that. The foul was on number 3, Arnold. So that's 2 on Arnold. So Garcia with the free throw. First free throw for the Mustangs tonight. So they're 100% on the night for their free throws. So now Skyview with the ball up court. Ortiz with the ball. Gets it back to him. Now back out to Wilson, who has it out high. He tries to drive down the left sideline or down the left lane, kicks it back out. Now a little jumper from the left wing, and that is no good by Arnold. Rebounded to Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez gets it back out to Swetzik over to Garcia, high right wing. 44-25, 19-point lead by the Mustangs. To Garcia now, cross court over to Tony Swetzik. Swetzik's little runner is up and no good. Rebounded by Ortiz for Skyview. So 6:36 to go in the game. 44-25, Fort Morgan. Now drive down the... Oh, what are they going to call? The outside ref called that on Jake Frick. So that's 3 on Frick. Wes Anderson in and Jake Frick to come out. Nice minutes here by Jake Frick. So Skyview to inbounds left of their basket, trying to get it into a wallet to Wallaje, but they do not get it into him. Now it's out to Ortiz.
Them trying to get it to Wallaje is actually benefiting the Mustangs because they're working it around and just taking time off the clock. A lot of time.
So 6:20 to go in the game. Wallaje comes out way high. We'll let him set up out there. That's fine. So now the ball to Guevara. Guevara to Ortiz. Now underneath to Wallaje. They're going to call a foul underneath. And that is going to go against Wes Anderson. So that's 3 on Anderson. So Wallaje back to the line to shoot 2.
Well, he made his last one, so these two should be, one should be in the front, one should be off the back. So
we'll see if he continues his. Oh, he messed it up. He missed. He made it. But he's the only one that has shot any free throws for Skyview tonight. He has shot 7 free throws tonight, and he is 3 of 7. So now Kimball in for Leo Lopez.
Well, you could just tell that Skyview's game plan was going to Wallaje all night.
So the second shot is also good. So he's finding his range there. He's been there enough tonight. He should be able to start knocking him down. Oh, and then Eric Kimball dribbles the ball off his foot. He had some pressure in the backcourt by Guevara.
That was the first turnover for the Mustangs in the second half.
Now we have about a 2-year-old out on the court that would like to help, but they're going to get her off the court. So we'll give her time in a few years. Skyview now to try to get the ball in, and there should be a 5-second call, but they don't give it. Wilson underneath to Wallaje. Wallaje is up and good. He's the only one that has scored in this fourth period for Skyview. Now 44-29 in favor of Fort Morgan with 5:48 to go in the game. Wes Anderson now with a little jumper from the left. That is short. So now they got to get down court. It's going to be to Wallaje. Wallaje is going to be up and good and fouled. That is going to be 4 fouls on Anderson. So Joey Schneider in for Wes Anderson and Leo Lopez in for TJ Bauer. So Wallaje to shoot another free throw. This will be his 8th of the night. He's the only one that has shot any free throws for Skyview tonight, and it is good. So now 44-32. Skyview making a run here. Fort Morgan needs to settle down here, take a little bit of time off the clock, and get a good shot. Now over to Kimball. Kimball's trying to drive the lane. He's kept out of there. Now out to Leo Lopez. I don't know why they don't call that a foul, and the guy's got his hand on the belly of Leo Lopez, but they're letting him play, I guess. So now over to Lopez out on the left wing. Now underneath to Kimball. Kimball gets his shot blocked by Wallaje. Now out to Wilson. Wilson gets it down court. Fort Morgan's getting beat down the court, and that was good by Alcala for 2. So now Coach Unrein is going to take a timeout. It's now only a 10-point lead. It's going to be a full timeout, so we'll take one with him. 4:50 to go in the game. 44-34 Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School with Bob Richardson. This is Brian Nickel, where the Skyview Wolverines have closed this game down to a 10-point gap, 44-34 in favor of Fort Morgan. With 4:50 to go in the game, Fort Morgan inbounds from the far side of the court. They get it in to Zach Garcia. Zach Garcia now to Tony Swetzik, out to Joey Schneider, now over to Leo Lopez. There's going to be a foul on number 22, Ortiz. That is only his first. 4th team foul on Skyview, 7 on Fort Morgan. So Tony Swetzik inbounds just in front of the Fort Morgan bench. He gets it into Leo Lopez. Leo Lopez being guarded by Ortiz. Now over to Kimball. Kimball back cross court to Snyder. Back out to Tony Sweatzik. Sweatzik to Leo Lopez. Lopez to Kimball back in the right corner. Now back out to Lopez across court to Joy Schneider out on the left wing. Nice bounce pass over to Ortiz. Now it's going to be another foul on Ortiz. I guess they're trying to get enough fouls here so Fort Morgan will start shooting free throws. They still have 2 to go. 4:18 to go in the game. So Fort Morgan inbounds from across the way with Tony Sweatzik. He gets it into Kimball. Now back to Sweatzik. Back out to Garcia. Over to Zach, or to from. That is going to be another foul, and that's going to go against Alcala. So that's 6 team fouls with 4:09 to go in the game. Oh no, that's 7. Okay, they were 1 behind apparently. So this is where Fort Morgan needs to make their points here. And that one was in and out. So still 44-34 in favor of Fort Morgan with 4:04 to go in the game. Wilson with the ball tries to take it down the left side, and his shot is going to go up and no good, and they're going to call a foul. I think that's going to go on Leo Lopez. That's going to be 3 on Lopez. So that will send Wilson to the line to shoot 2. So his first shot is up and good. So Skyview making their points at the line. So 44-35 with 3:57 to go in the game. Second shot is up and also good. 44-36. Now pressure defense by Skyview. Sweatzik with the ball. Now to Joey Schneider. Now they're going to call a foul. That's going to go against number 24, Guevara. So now Joey Schneider to the line.
They got to start hitting their free throws. This is where they're going to win it.
Tuesday night they were 18 of 19 from the free throw line. So they need to make some points here. And that one bounces up high and good for Joey Schneider. So they finally get off that 44-point mark. So it's 45-36. We'll see if he can get this back to a 10-point game here with 3:48 to go. Second shot, that looks a lot better. So 46-36, favor of Fort Morgan. Wilson gets the ball down court. He hands it off to Ortiz. Ortiz out high. He tries to go down the left of the lane, and that's going to be taken by Schneider. Nice defense there. They tried to get it underneath to Awalaje, and it was taken away by Joey Schneider. Now down court, Garcia. Now Joey Schneider back to Garcia with 3:25 to go. Bounce pass into Leo Lopez. Shot up. They're going to call a blocking foul on number 24 on Guevara.
Been a lot of hand checking by Skyview, and they're not calling it.
So Tony Sweatzik to the line to shoot 2. Yeah, that was being called on Tuesday night, and this is a whole different reffing crew here tonight. It hasn't gotten out of hand, but there's a lot of arms in the gut, that's for sure. Nice shot there by Tony Sweatzik is good. 47-36, back to an 11-point lead now with 3:20 to go in the game. So Tony Sweatzik with shot number 2 coming up here. And that shot is up and also good. So now Wilson with the ball. Slows it down, trying to get their offense set up. Down by 12. So Wilson gets it off to Guevara. Guevara back over to Wilson. Wilson out about the 3-point line. He picks up his dribble now to Ortiz. Ortiz launches it, but it was saved by Skyview and thrown off of Tony Sweatzik, and Sweatzik was laying out of bounds. So the ball will go back to Skyview with 3 minutes to go in the game. They get it into Awalaje. A nice steal by Joey Schneider. Get it down court to Zach Garcia. Garcia back out to Schneider, out high about the, now over to Leo Lopez. 2:47 to go. Now Zach Garcia back out to Tony Sweatzik to Garcia. Garcia, the 3 from the corner. That's good for Garcia.
Beautiful shot for Garcia.
Nice shot, 51-36 with 2:35 to go in the game. So Wilson now gets the ball. He's going to try and go back down the left sideline. Kicks it back out to Alcala. He's reluctant to take a shot. Now they're going to get it out to Guevara. Guevara off to Wilson. Wilson being guarded closely by Leo Lopez. A lot of time being taken off here. Now it's going to be a foul on Kimball, but they're going to make Skyview earn it from the line. That's only the second foul on Kimball. So to the line is Alcala. 51-36 in favor of Fort Morgan. That free throw is no good. So that foul did pay off. 2:08 to go in the game. Fort Morgan 51, Skyview 36. Fort Morgan on their way to the playoffs with this win. Second shot no good. Kimball with the rebound out to Swetzik, now to Joey Schneider. Schneider picks up his dribble, nice bounce pass to Kimball over to Leo Lopez back to Kimball. Kimball takes it down, the shot down, and it is going to count from the right, and he is fouled.
Good job, Lopez. That was a good shot, good drive. He saw the open lane, took advantage of it, and just laid it up and got fouled.
So Leo Lopez, it's kind of like a little shot there that he puts up there. And that foul is going to go against Wilson, and that is 3 on Wilson. So Leo Lopez to the line to shoot a free throw. Fort Morgan leading 53-36. What was a 10-point game just a couple of minutes ago is now an 18-point game, 54-36. Wilson with the ball in the front court. Wilson picks up his dribble, gives it to Guevara. A lot of time being run off here. Now, number 13, Martinez, being double teamed in the corner, and it's going to be off of Eric Kimball out of bounds.
Yeah, he had no option but to throw it off of a Fort Morgan player.
So Tony Svetsik comes out, and Garrett Reagan into the game. So nice game for Svetsik tonight. So now Skyview with the ball inbounds. Nice little dribble, nice penetration, but they kick it back out. So they're going to run some more time off the clock, which is fine with the Mustangs and fine with me. They want to keep. Oh, nice steal. Pass underneath, attempted pass underneath was tipped by Kimball, and then taken away by the Mustangs. Now Leo Lopez with a three. That is good for Lopez.
Lopez
57-36 with 1:05 to go. 21-point lead for the Mustangs. 1 minute to go. Wilson with the ball. That ball tipped away momentarily, taken back by Skyview.
Almost picked off.
Almost stolen by Fort Morgan. Now they're going to try to get it. Now it's number 3, Arnold. We got 45 seconds to go. That shot up and no good. And that ball is out of bounds off of Awalaje. So Fort Morgan with the ball, leading 57-36. TJ Bauer in for Leo Lopez. Nice game for Lopez.
I'll give Skyview credit. They're sticking with the game plan still. They're trying to work it down to Awalaje, but it's their Achilles heel right now. They're just taking time off the clock.
Somewhere you've got to get away from that game plan and start hoisting some shots someplace when you're down by 21. So now we've got a bunch of substitutes coming in for the Mustangs. Arreo Canas is in, Bladen Pollitt, Henry Weimer, and Matthew Hoffman, TJ Bauer.
We had 6 players out there for a minute.
TJ Bauer comes off. So Matthew Hoffman, 2 inbounds to the left of the Skyview basket, gets it into Pollitt. Now back to Hoffman with 39 seconds to go to Garrett Reagan. Back to Garrett Reagan. Reagan to Hoffman. 30 seconds to go. 30 seconds away from the state playoff berth here for Fort Morgan. Now back over to Pollitt. There's going to be a foul on number 13, Martinez. So that is 10 team fouls. So Bladen Pollitt to the line to shoot 2. So big win here for the Mustangs tonight. This is should ensure them a trip to the playoffs starting next Wednesday. So Bladen Pollitt, his first shot is just off the front of the rim. And no good with 23.6 seconds to go. Fort Morgan 57, Skyview 36. Bladen Pollitt with shot number 2, and that is up and good for Pollitt. So he gets his name in the scorebook tonight. So now Ortiz, Skyview still with their starters in the game, trying to get another basket here, I guess. 15 seconds to go. Another 3, and that is good by Martinez.
Well, it's nice to see that the Mustangs have built enough lead that they could actually get some players in there, get some experience.
So we have a 30-second timeout called by Skyview. They are down 19 points. They're going to take a timeout and see if they have a 19-point play in their playbook here.
Well, I think if you go from full court and you make it, I think that's about a 15. They might come up a little short.
They can cut it down to 4 points then, but so Fort Morgan with a nice win here tonight. So the playoffs, the brackets should be known by 2 o'clock on Sunday. They should be, Chassa should have the brackets filled in by 2 o'clock this coming Sunday. Now Garrett Reagan with the ball up court. The ball is going to be tipped away from behind with 5 seconds to go, but Bladen Pollitt gets it back. Shoot that, Bladen. He does, and that's off the front of the rim. Henry Weimer tries to go up with it, but it's knocked away. At the end of the game, Fort Morgan with a big win, 58-39 over Skyview. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. The Mustang postgame show is brought to you by High Plains Bank and Wiggins. The friendly staff at High Plains Bank and Wiggins is ready to assist you with a home loan, equity line of credit, commercial loan, or checking account. To receive hometown service on a higher plane, visit High Plains Bank today. Big win here for the Mustangs tonight, 58-39 over the Skyview Wolverines out of Denver. This should ensure the Mustangs to be in the playoffs, and that will start next Wednesday for the boys. The girls are playing tonight, but they're already in the playoffs, and they will be playing next Tuesday. We do not know where or what time, so be listening to B106 next Monday, and they should have times for both games for the boys and the girls. Scoring for tonight for Skyview, Awalaje leads them. He has 17. Martinez has 8. Wilson has 4. Arnold with 3. Ortiz with 3. Ortiz is our leading scorer. I think he was averaging a little over 11 points a game, so they did a nice job on Ortiz tonight. Guevara with 2 and Alcala with 2. For the Mustangs, they have 2 scorers tonight with 12. That would be Tony Swetzik with 12 and Garcia with 12, followed up by Joey Schneider with 10. Leo Lopez with 9, Bauer with 5, Kimball with 9, and Pollitt with 1. So we had we had three players in double figures tonight for the Mustangs, and that wasn't even their leading scorer. Kimball only had 9 tonight. So Tony had a nice shooting night tonight, coming up with 12 points, and Garcia also with 12. So Fort Morgan doing a nice job putting the ball in the bucket tonight, and also a good job defensively, holding Skyview to 39 points. They're averaging 45 points a game on the season, so they held them under their norm for the year. And Fort Morgan was averaging 47 points, and they got 58, so they were well over their average tonight also. So good night for the Mustangs. So Bob's got some numbers for turnovers and rebounds.
Yeah, the turnovers, the Wolverines had 13. The Mustangs only had 4 turnovers all night, which was real good for them. And as far as rebounds, the Mustangs were out-rebounded 19-14. With Skyview, their leading rebounder was Ortiz with 6. Then you had Awalaje with 5. Then you had Guava, Alcala, and Wilson with 2. And then you had Arnold with 1 and Martinez with 1. And for the Mustangs, we had Lopez, Snyder with 3, and then we had Anderson, Kimball, and Swetzik with 2, Garcia and Weimer with 1. Looking at the stats, everybody for the Mustangs except for Kimball hit their averages tonight and went and blew by him tonight. And Kimball wasn't that far off. If he had just had another couple more shots out there, he'd have matched his average for the night. But so all in all, they played good defense. It was a good game. Not a lot of fouls up until the fourth period. Then they started, calling little tic-tac hand check fouls. It was a good night. It's a good win going into the playoffs for next Wednesday, and hopefully we just get a good seeding and don't have to travel too far.
Yeah, it'll be good. As far as free throws tonight, Awalaje is the only one that shot free throws for Skyview tonight, and he was 5 of 8 for 63%. Fort Morgan was 7 of 9. All of theirs came in the fourth period, and that makes them at 77%. So not quite as good as it was Tuesday night, but you're not expecting to miss only one free throw usually in a ball game. So 77% is a good percentage to be shooting free throws.
That is a good percentage considering they didn't start shooting free throws until the fourth period. I mean, they had no free throw attempts until the fourth period, and that was probably pretty much halfway through when they started fouling them to get to the one-on-one.
So we have some. We wanted to give a shout out to the Fort Morgan wrestlers tonight: Jacob Gherkin, Ian Wingstrom, and Toby McBride. And so far, Ian Wingstrom is the only one that has wrestled so far, and he won with a tech fall, so he will not wrestle again until tomorrow afternoon. And you can follow the Fort Morgan Mustangs wrestlers on 1010 KSIR, KSIR.com, and 94.5 The Ranch. So now that basketball is over with for tonight, you can turn your attention to the wrestling for the rest of the weekend. And by Sunday afternoon, they should have the brackets filled in. We'll figure out where the girls are going to be playing. Hopefully, with their record, they hopefully can get a first-round home game. The boys,
that'd be nice.
Maybe not with their overall record, but we'll wait till Sunday afternoon, and I believe you'll be able to go to chassa.com and be able to see what the brackets are like there.
Well, the ball that they're playing right now, I could see them. They could play anywhere right now. They're just playing awesome ball, and this is a good way to go in the season on a high note.
So 5-2 in their last 7 games of the season. So finishing off good. They're playing their best basketball, and that's what you need to be doing to go into the playoffs. So tonight, I guess we're going to wrap this post-game show up. The sound engineer and producer of Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball has been Trenton Klimper. Good job, as always, by Trenton. The next broadcast will be Tuesday night. That will be a girls' game. We don't know. I would guess probably 7 o'clock, but if you listen to John Beltran Sports on Monday on B106, he will have a time and place, I'm sure, by then where the girls will be playing and then where the boys will be playing on Wednesday.
Well, if the girls get a home game, I'd like to see the town of Fort Morgan come out and support their local sports here at home. It'd be a good victory heading off into the playoffs, and let's send them off on a good note.
They had it was another nice crowd here tonight for the Mustangs, followed by a nice boisterous crowd on Tuesday night. It was a fun night here. Last 2 nights of basketball have been real enjoyable to be able to broadcast and be able to witness here at the Fort Morgan High School. So once again, the final score, 58-39, Fort Morgan over Skyview. For Bob Richardson, this is Brian Nickel. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs basketball on B106 and B106.com. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.